Next on NAZ Today, the Navajo Nation vetoes a bill aimed at building healthier lives.
And the Coconino County Board of Supervisors discussed a new law this morning.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Matt Tantow.
And I'm Imani Payne. Thank you for joining us.
Park rangers at Grand Canyon National Park found skeletal remains this morning in the Hermit Creek drainage area. Rangers also found abandoned camping gear near the area. Rangers believe the remains may be connected to the disappearance of a Tucson man in 2010. The Coconino County Medical Examiner is conducting DNA tests on the remains to try to make a positive identification. The Navajo, like many other Native American tribes, struggle with some of the worst health outcomes in the nation.
Roughly 20% of Navajos live with diabetes, and even more suffer from chronic illness like heart disease and hypertension. Recently, Navajo leaders turned down a proposal to try to address one source of the problem. Adrian Gorola has this report.
Navajo leaders have identified wellness and healthy lives as one of their 5 pillars of focus. Yet early this month, President Ben Shelley vetoed the Healthy Dene Nation Act that would have raised the tax on junk food by 2%. Shelley says he's not against the notion, but says the proposal doesn't go far because it doesn't include provisions for infrastructure and enforcement.
It's a good tax. I believe it will work if we do it right. I just don't want to throw a law out there. It's not workable.
Hank Caskey with the Navajo Division of Health feels less sure that a junk food tax would address natives' chronic illnesses.
Taxing food, what is that going to accomplish to start off with? It's are we trying to have people develop habits by taxing them? The key is education, and the Navajo Nation has a lot of resources that allow them to provide education.
The Navajo Nation will consider a tax on junk food at a later date. In the meantime, the nation still collects sales tax on fruits, nuts, and other healthy foods. For NAZ Today, I'm Adrian Gorola.
Texting and driving is becoming a bigger problem in northern Arizona. The Coconino County Board of Supervisors met this morning to discuss a no texting law.
The proposed law would follow states such as California and ban texting while driving. NAZ Today's Mason Agnew has more.
According to Coconino County Public Health Services, several avoidable accidents each year are caused by distracted driving, and they think this ban will increase the awareness of its dangers and will help prevent future accidents. The council meeting featured both experts and citizens voicing their opinion and sharing information on the ban. One concern dealt with the range of the bill, given that it would only apply to Coconino County.
Well, the Board of Supervisors obviously would prefer that this would be a statewide law. But for the past 4 years, there have been several bills that have been introduced at the legislature, but none of them have passed. So, barring a state law, we feel like locally we need to take this issue on so that we can protect the public.
For NAZ Today, I'm Mason Agnew.
Recently, a semi-truck was caught traveling along I-40 carrying 1,000 pounds of marijuana mixed in spinach.
Now, while most of us use I-40 to get around Arizona, local law enforcement often view the highway as being used for drug trafficking and other crimes. NAZ Today's Xavier Rangel has more.
For those traveling throughout Arizona to states like California and New Mexico, Interstate 40 is often the preferred route. However, recently, I-40 has been attracting more than your average vacationer looking to get away. Drug smugglers are often caught along I-40 trying to distribute drugs from places like Mexico into the Southwest.
Over the years, we've had great success in taking a lot of drugs off the street by stopping these couriers along I-40, along with the commercial carriers, the couriers that are driving commercial trucks, masquerading as legitimate load trucks, but in fact they are smuggling pot, as we've seen.
Officers are finding that I-40 has not only become a popular route for drug smuggling, but a preferred route for criminals trying to evade arrest as well.
A lot of wanted criminals are driving along I-40 trying to escape law enforcement, and we have in the past taken off the stop to people, run them, and found they're wanted for murders.
The increased criminal activity along I-40 has law enforcement beefing up security and cracking down on suspected criminals. For NAZ Today, I'm Xavier Rangel.
Coming up, a Flagstaff man finds a new way to add some excitement to his daily routine.
And a Flagstaff psychic talks with us about her new book. Stay with us.
All right, good evening, folks. Another mild day across the region. The high pressure that's been bringing all that very warm weather here and dry weather over the last month or so, it's in its final days here. We have a huge trough of low pressure being carved out in the Pacific, and it looks like we got some decent moisture coming our way. We're going to talk about it coming right up in the forecast.
Hi, I'm Terry Markson. As seasons change, so does the inventory at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. We've got Northern Arizona's biggest selection of always changing certified pre-owned vehicles. All receive a thorough 172-point vehicle inspection, a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty, and 2 years of free maintenance, including all oil changes. You can count on our certified pre-owns just as you can count on our relaxed, no-pressure environment. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, real hometown value.
I was an ordinary guy, but I switched to Suddenlink's new internet, and now I can't stop being awesome, because it's the fastest in town. Downloads, uploads, any kind of load, everything just flows at speeds 13 times faster than phone company DSL. Even when the whole family is online, there's no buffering. With DSL, we were suffering. Yep, anything the phone company can do, I can do faster. Now that I have the next big thing from Suddenlink, now that I have a house full of easy.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
And we're going to introduce you to an interesting guy tonight. He's a butcher by day and a DJ by night. Mitch Byers is a resident of Flagstaff who has found his passion in being a DJ at local clubs. NAZ Today caught up with him to find out more about his exciting life.
Yeah, I work at Sprouts in the meat department, and yeah, I just work there during the afternoon or the mornings. I was looking for something to do, really, something like a new hobby, and then at night just go downtown and play, you know, like a venue down there, or like a house party or anything like that, and sort of do it all over again next week and just repeat. And so it's definitely a nice clash of two different worlds. A bunch of my friends and I just got together and we're just geeking out really hard on music and whatnot, and before I knew it, I was just like, you know what, why not? Let's just start something, like let's see what people think about, you know, music that I play. And then it sort of just grew from there with like more and more electronic music, just because I kept getting bored of it and I wanted something different, something weirder, something that just makes you think. Like, sort of, you never really know what you're going to expect me to play, you know. Yeah, I've been DJing for about a year now, a little over a year. My first show was Valentine's Day last year at the Green Room. It's gotten pretty big. We have a nice weekly event going on at the Monte V, and it's just a bunch of friends DJing. It makes me happy. It just makes me super happy, and life's too short not to be happy, so why not do something that you enjoy, and you know, other people do enjoy it as well.
The Montezuma Castle may be old, but it is still one of the most extraordinary sights to see here in northern Arizona. This monument is filled with history and is appreciated by all who visit. NAZ Today reports on the significance of this national monument.
The significance of Montezuma Castle National Monument is that this pueblo is one of the oldest, best preserved cliff dwellings in the southwestern United States today. It was originally built around 1100 AD, the earliest rooms, and was occupied into the late 1300s. And so we see the earliest rooms today are over 900 years old, and yet the structure is still more than 90% original. Parts of the castle that, in spite of how well protected it is by that alcove, over the years did take a little bit of damage. If you look up above the tower, you'll see a V-shaped section that's slightly lighter than everything around it. And that's where part of the wall crumbled around one of the roof beams, and the roof beam is right down at the bottom, the bottom of that V. So the roofs end up taking a little bit of damage over time, and in the late 1800s and early 1900s we see some repairs done on the roof. That's part of the 10% that has been restored, but the walls that you see by and large are the same walls that they put up. Today, if a person could go into Montezuma Castle, the handprints of the people who built this structure are still on the walls inside, where they put the mud and held it up long enough for it to dry and hold the walls together.
Susan Norgan, a Flagstaff psychic, has recently released her latest book titled When the Golden Egg Cracks. The book details how to survive and thrive during economic and natural disasters. NAZ Today's Kimberly Kraft has more.
Welcome back, Susan. It's good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk to you about your newest book, your latest book, When the Golden Egg Cracks, which is about surviving in a variety of ways. What do you mean by that?
Well, so much is happening in our government right now. Weather changes. Look what happened with snow in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and Flagstaff. We all know how to drive in snow up here, but what would you do if you had an earthquake or different things with all the earth changes that are happening? So the book is about surviving and thriving regardless of the situation you find yourself in at that time.
Okay, so you list natural disasters, government chaos, and economic upheavals. Okay, so that's a pretty broad range, but I'm guessing that you have a, sort of a systematic approach, and what would that be? What are the tips? What should I do right now?
Tips right now, economy, collect your silver. It's getting more and more difficult now because they want identification, but collect your junk silver coins. Start stocking and storing food and water and putting that away as well. And in case of an emergency or natural disaster, you have your food and water, and know how to stay warm. Up here in Flagstaff, you can always put newspapers under your clothing or burrow under layers of blankets if you're at home, if you're lucky to be home.
So, so be prepared.
Be prepared. Have your bug out bag that you can keep in your car and take with you everywhere you go.
So, and you are, and not to mention your shotgun, I'm probably guessing maybe you might want that. My doctor recommended I get one, so because other people are going to want your supplies, perhaps. But you are a medium, and this gives you some kind of insight, but don't you get this question a lot? Well, isn't that a bunch of hooey?
No, it's not. And yes, I do get that question a lot because everyone needs to know how to survive any type of emergency, whether that's the economy crashing, whether it's martial law and lockdown in your environment, and we had the shooting in Boston. Okay, then there's so many different things. If you know how to take care of yourself, then you may remain safe. You may get through all of that chaos to the other side of it. Being prepared is not negative. Being prepared is having the knowledge to take care of yourself and to practice the skills.
Well, all that information will be included on our website, and I think fundamentally what you're saying is life is good. And
Life is great.
Thank you so much for being here, Susan.
Thank you.
It's been nice and sunny out this week, but can we expect the warm temperatures to continue? Meteorologist Lee Bourne has more.
And the NAU men's basketball team has hit crunch time in their season. Nick Robbie has more.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me. What's going on? Dinner.
Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plates.
Plates? Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Keep up with NAZ Today by adding us on Facebook, following our Twitter account at NAZ Today, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Stay connected with us no matter where you are.
Tonight's NAZ Today weather is brought to you in part by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac in Flagstaff.
All right, some periodic high, thick cloud cover moving through out there today. We take a look at it on the southwest satellite. Here we are in northern Arizona, a little cloudier than I thought. I was anticipating most of this cloud cover to stay to the south of us here in Flagstaff, but no, just enough of it got up here into northern Arizona. You're also seeing a little bit of radar echoes pop up, but none of that moisture is reaching the ground. That's all virga, clouds way up there, very dry lower levels of the atmosphere. And any moisture coming out of those clouds not reaching the ground. The radar can't detect whether it's reaching the ground or not, of course. Mild temperatures out there once again today, way above average, 10, 15 degrees above average temperatures for this time of year. It was 68 in Sedona this afternoon, 66 in Prescott. Phoenix topped off at 71, Camp Verde 71. Here in Flagstaff, 57 degrees. Our early morning low was 25 degrees. It's been a long time since we've had any help here in the precipitation category, and it looks like we're in for a little relief here. The biggest area of low pressure we've seen out in the Pacific in a couple months since we've been talking here. It's been all high pressure here in 2014. But no, this is a gigantic several thousand mile area of low pressure and plenty of moisture moving in with this storm system, and we are in for some changes. In the meantime, tomorrow, it will be high pressure. One last day of this very persistent ridge of steel that's been with us for many days. So that'll move right on top of us tomorrow, another day of very mild weather. But then we get out into the stormy pattern, and this low pressure center is due for us on Thursday. Tomorrow, it'll bring much needed rain into California. And then on Thursday, it's a weak storm that moves through northern Arizona. It's just light rain from the Mogollon Rim northward on Thursday. Snow levels will be up around 9,000 feet with this thing on Thursday, and it's very light rain throughout the day, a little bit colder. The stronger storm system is way out here in the Pacific, and that's due late Friday and through the day on Saturday. The heaviest moisture is going to come down overnight Friday into Saturday, and right now it looks like snow levels will remain above town in Flagstaff where the bulk of the storm system Friday night into Saturday. Snow levels 7,500 feet, 8,000 feet until Saturday morning, and that's when snow levels will drop off and we'll have snow showers through the day on Saturday, but much of the moisture have already come down in the form of rain. Up to around an inch to even 2 inches of rain in store for much of northern and central and even southern Arizona Friday night into early Saturday, and then we'll stay unsettled with those snow showers, snow levels dropping down to around 6,000 feet on Saturday, but just a couple inches possible of accumulation in town. Get up on the San Francisco peaks, and I'm thinking we're foot and a half of snow with this storm system. That's the most snow we've talked around here in a couple months. Okay, currently outside, it's 60 in Prescott, 54 in Williams, Grand Canyon 54, 67 up in Page, and it's 59 degrees right now for you in Payson. Overnight tonight, we'll have just a little bit of high cloud cover. Call it mostly clear and calm. Early morning low, 24 degrees. Tomorrow, I think we're partly cloudy. Temperature still on the mild side. Average for this time of year is mid-40s, 54 degrees. And then Thursday, that first storm with the light rain, and I didn't really mention it will be breezy also Thursday and Friday with winds gusting up around 30-40. We could even call it windy. It's kind of borderline windy, breezy. 67 winds Wednesday in Sedona, 64 Prescott, Payson, 64, 68 in Winslow. Okay, we got some action in the extended forecast here. Have that light rain down to 50 on Thursday, Friday down to 48. The storm system moves in late in the day on Friday, pours overnight Friday into Saturday, turns into snow somewhere early Saturday morning. Snow showers throughout the day and possible light snow showers, flurries kind of thing lasting into Sunday. And for you down in Sedona, it'll be all rain, and it's get light rain on Thursday in the low mid 60s, and then things cool off into the 50s with some heavier rain due overnight Friday into Saturday. Much needed rain, goes without saying.
I saw the clouds in the sky today, so unfortunately for me, I know the rain and snow is on the way, but how excited are you for that?
I'm really excited. I mean, I'm excited for a lot of reasons. I mean, we need the moisture.
Right.
We don't need the big fire season. It'd be great to get get some powder days up on the mountain and all that.
You may have more psychic power than the psychic that Kim interviewed earlier. You're breaking down, what did you call that, the ridge of steel?
Yeah, the ridge
down.
of steel.
Well, in celebration of the first snowfall coming here for 2014 here in Flagstaff, spring training is off and running, or will be this weekend down in the valley.
Yeah, we'll get you ready for spring training. Also talk a little high school hoops. Stick around, sports is next.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Ready to follow your dreams? Let Northern Arizona University chart your course with local classes at more than 30 campuses statewide.
My NAU is in the Valley.
My NAU is in Mojave County.
Convenient, affordable, with accredited degree programs.
My NAU is in Tucson.
My NAU is on the reservation.
The extended campuses of Northern Arizona University, statewide, online, and in Flagstaff.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Well, we start things off with the high school level. The Flagstaff Eagles boys basketball team is moving on to the quarterfinals in the state playoffs after a 76-56 win over Ironwood Ridge this past Saturday. After a chippy game, Coach Kirk talked about the team's composure and what a game like that can do to the team.
You know, I think they know the situation. You know, during the year is different. You know, we've lost our cool a little bit during the year, but you know, they know the situation. They know it's now or never. And so they can't be sitting. They got to be on the floor.
The team continues their run as they take on Shadow Ridge Wednesday at 4:15. That's this Wednesday, 4:15 p.m. at jobbing.com Arena. Well, moving on up to the college hoops, just about 2 weeks left in the conference season, and the NAU men's basketball team is right in the thick of things in the conference standings. Only 7 teams make it to the Big Sky tournament, and the Jacks have an 8-8 conference record and are currently tied with 3 other teams at number 8 in the Big Sky standings. 3 teams are tied at 9-7 record just ahead of them. NAU has lost 3 games in a row recently after having an 8-5 record, and were sitting in the 3rd seed in conference a couple weeks ago. Here's a look at the rest of their conference schedule. This Thursday, the Lumberjacks, they'll travel to Idaho State to play the Bengals. Then on Saturday, they'll play the number 1 team, the Weber State Wildcats. Next week, the team hosts both Montana schools for their final games of the season. A tall task for the Lumberjacks. Last year, NAU slipped into the conference tourney at 7th seed, so hopefully they can manage to slip in once again. Moving on to the ice rink. The Division III NAU Ice Jacks season came to an end this weekend after taking part in the ACHA regional tournament in Fremont. On Friday, the Ice Jacks took on Metro State University, and Tyler Tritchler scored a power play goal. Jake Smets scored as well, but penalties would hurt the Ice Jacks in this game as NAU fell to the Roadrunners 5-2 in their first game at regionals. The Ice Jacks finished with a record of 19-11. Congratulations to them on a great season. Well, on to the NFL Combine. They're finishing up out there for the NFL, but the NAU is just getting ready. NAU head coach Jerome Sowers has announced the date for NAU's Pro Day. The event will take place next Wednesday, March 5th. Check-in is at 7 a.m. and the workouts begin at 9 a.m. This event is also open to the public, so go out there and support your lumberjacks. Some notable events to catch will be the vertical and broad jumps, bench press, 40-yard dash, and individual workouts as well. There will be several lumberjacks participating, including running back Zach Bowman and defensive backs Anders Battle and Lucky Dozier. Well, back to the spring air. It's springtime in the air, and that means baseball season is right around the corner, literally in this case, as the Arizona Diamondbacks begin their 2014 campaign tomorrow with their first spring training game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The game is being held at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick in Scottsdale. Game time is set for 1:10 p.m. tomorrow. And the team is coming off back-to-back records at 81 and 81. And back to a little bit of basketball for our play of the day. This game winner not only affects the winning team, but also affects the Phoenix Suns standings in the Western Conference. Let's take a look as Dallas was facing off against the Knicks last night.
Gets to Nowitzki. Anthony on Nowitzki. Nowitzki one-on-one with Anthony. Holds the ball, puts up a tough shot.
And there it is. You may say no, Nowitzki, but Dirk says yes, Nowitzki. Getting the lucky bounce, the big German hits the big shot, rim goes in, and the Mavericks win a tight one, 110-108, and that puts Dallas into the 7th seed. That puts Phoenix Suns into the 8th seed. So, just after the All-Star game, we'll start right back into the thick of things.
Nice, looking good.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be back with more weather from Lee in just a minute.
Dirk.
Be sure to tune in to NAZ Today every Wednesday at 6 and 10 p.m. for the NAZ Today Car Tip of the Week. This week brought to you by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, located on Highway 66.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
All right, grand finale of the last 8 weeks of mild weather. Tomorrow, 54 degrees. Then we get some moisture in here finally. Light rain on Thursday, heavier rain Friday night. Snow showers into the coming weekend. It only looks like a couple inches of snow possibly after most of it comes down and rain in town. And for you down in Sedona, rain also on Thursday, light rain, and some nice healthy rain going into the weekend.
Well, thanks for that update, Lee, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a good evening.